guys, welcome back. It's Maggie and Lisa with Unexplained. Today we're coming at you with part 3 of our urban legend series. For the last one, we wanted to just take a couple of stories from everywhere and kind of talk about them. We don't have a specific urban legend that we want to talk about, so we're just gonna throw out a couple that we know of and popular ones that are around the world. And if you guys have any urban legends that you guys want to talk about, or that we haven't mentioned that you want everyone to know about, please don't hesitate to let us know. So if you want to go ahead and start off with the first one, Lise, we can go ahead and do it.
Many of you at home may not know, but Maggie and I do not rehearse. I have no idea what Maggie's going to say. She has no idea what I'm going to say. So I get so excited before these podcasts. A really interesting urban legend that I wanted to start off with is the Alaska Triangle. I'm sure many of you at home have heard about this. So as you know, obviously the Alaska Triangle is in Alaska. It's the 49th state of the US. I first want to start off with the myths and then move on to the facts. So I just want to make that clear that I'm going to start off with the myths. Okay, so this area has caused many of us to focus on it for decades because of its mysterious activity. The myths include foreign bee sightings, mermaids, creatures with strange calls that can mimic sounds of people, even babies, to other strange sightings of UFOs, paranormal orbs, and strange lights. The Alaska Triangle is even responsible for leaving a nearby town called Portlock as a ghost town. Residents of Portlock fled for their lives after many witnesses saw what they call a big hairy creature in the trees. After residents were disappearing, they blamed it on a big creature. One man they found wounded claimed that he was hit with a big object. He said this object was so big that a person couldn't even hold it themselves. So he claimed that he was hit with this big object, and unfortunately he did die, but he did tell witnesses what had happened before his death. So now I'm going to move on to the facts of the Alaska Triangle. Now, over 15,000 people, including military personnel and politicians, have disappeared there without a trace. Some blame the weather, strange vortexes, heavy air, electric anomalies, even aliens. Some experts say Alaska's caves, mountains, snow can cover up planes and individuals easily. But the FBI decided to get involved. The FBI files include extraterrestrial interferences. In 1978, the U.S. Army unit established Stargate Project at Fort Meade, Maryland by DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency, and SRA International to investigate the potential for psychic phenomena in military and domestic intelligence applications. They primarily worked in remote viewing. If you don't know what that is, an individual has an ability to psychically see event sites or info from a great distance. So for instance, let's say somebody in California, they can psychically see somewhere far into Alaska if they zone in into a certain area, and they can tell you what they see in that area. So one claimed they psychically saw a massive alien base in Mount Hayes. Now, this project was terminated in 1995 by CIA, but the mysteries were not solved. They remained. Experts tried to explain with avalanches, as I said earlier, snow covering, Alaska caves, but this isn't the only mysterious triangle that has been observed on our planet. Another mysterious triangle that was observed is close to where Maggie and I reside. And we even swam in it years back, not in the actual triangle, but in the lake, which is called Lake Michigan. The triangle is called the Lake Michigan Triangle. The most bizarre report is when Captain Downer vanished on April 28th, 1937. If you haven't heard the story goes that Captain Downer sailed in Lake Michigan Triangle. Captain Downer locked himself inside his cabin. When it was time to wake him up, the crew came and knocked on the door and he didn't answer. There was no response. So they thought he was in trouble. So they pounded and knocked and they decided to bust open the door to see if something was wrong. Maybe he was in trouble. When they busted inside the cabin, they found it completely empty. There was no one inside. Captain Donner mysteriously vanished and no one knows what happened to him till this day. But that's just one of the mysterious things that had happened in the Lake Michigan Triangle, which is not covered with avalanches, snow. How do you explain what had happened in the Lake Michigan Triangle? Also, an airline flight 2501 carrying 58 people was never found as well, but 2 officers reported seeing strange red lights in the area where it vanished. In 2007, they did find ancient rocks underwater closely related to Stonehenge, which was found in Lake Michigan. Now, I don't want to just talk about triangles, guys. I also want to talk about mysterious circles that are on our planet. If you haven't heard about it, there's a mysterious circle called the Devil's Tramping Ground, which is located in Bear Creek, North Carolina. Nothing grows in this perfect circle, which is 40 feet in diameter. Some people claim it's a UFO landed there. Some claim it's a Native American burial site. Others claim that the devil himself walks that ground in a circle around midnight each night and contemplates what kind of evil work he's going to do for the day. Now, in this Devil's Tramping Ground, nothing grows. There's no grass, no plants, and it's a scientific mystery. A scientist has been to this site and cannot explain why nothing grows. And they tested it for decades. It has left some scientists baffled because they say it's even more fertile than the ground outside of it. So some claim that if you leave items in the circle overnight, they disappear. Other people claim that if you take off your shoes and socks and walk the ground, your feet will burn. And then others claim that they have slept in the circle and in the morning they found themselves outside of it. So they're not sure what's going on in this circle. It could be some kind of negative magnetic energy. One scientist on film took his navigation device and it started acting up on film. So there's something definitely going on in this area. Just like in the Alaska Triangle, in the Lake Michigan Triangle, we have all others out there, like the Bermuda Triangle. And these are mysterious events that happen, and some experts try to explain it's this, it's that, but does not satisfy our questions because, like in the Lake Michigan Triangle, there's no avalanches. How do you explain that people have vanished? There are no traces of them. How do you explain that?
Speaking of Lake Michigan, one of the urban legends, or the biggest urban legends of Northwest Indiana, or of all Indiana, some may say, is Diana of the Dunes. Have you heard of her?
That sounds familiar.
Was a woman, I believe, back in the 19 teens, who lived along the shore of Lake Michigan, and she was kind of she was a hermit, so she didn't want to like go out into public or do anything. She wanted to live by the shore by herself next to nobody. So because of that, she gained a little bit of popularity in Northwest Indiana because, she's a single woman at the time, living by herself, not wanting to be around people. People found that weird. So if people find it weird, you probably get a little bit more popular. They want to know why. So eventually she passed, but boaters on Lake Michigan and people swimming in that area still see her till this day, swimming laps up and down Lake Michigan. They say they see a woman swimming back and forth, and then all of a sudden she goes to do another lap and never comes up. So that's one of the urban legends in Lake Michigan. So there's a couple of them from that end. And then I don't know, Lisa, do you believe in, I don't know if this is considered an urban legend or whatever the case is, but do you believe in alien life forms?
Oh my goodness, it's hard. It's tough. I mean, it seems like there may be some aliens, even possibly on our planet because of what witnesses say. But I have never seen an alien, I think, face to face.
Yeah, neither
It's
have
pretty
I.
creepy.
It really is. And I have never seen one, but I think that there's so much evidence supporting that there is some type of life out there that I do feel like there is, a different kind of form of being out there besides human, an animal or whatever. But I think there are aliens out there, which is really, really scary because I don't want to be abducted at any time or anything like that. But yeah, I think I don't know, what would you consider that the alien legend is? Do you think that's an urban legend, or is it more of a unexplained event or story?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say that, yeah, I think it would have to fall into the urban legends because so many people have reported it for a long time, but we don't have the concrete evidence. Well, I don't know if the government does, but we don't.
Government's hiding something for sure if the aliens are out there, because I think they know something for sure.
Mhm.
So another urban legend that I did want to talk about, Lise, is the legend of La Llorona.
Ooh.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, there's a legend in Hispanic culture called La Llorona. There was a movie actually about it, about the crying lady. That's what it means. And the story goes is this woman, I believe, from what I remember, the story goes is that she was just really like a very depressed woman. Like she had a very hard life. I believe her husband left her and she couldn't take it anymore. And she drowned her children in the lake or the pond. And ever since then, she's been like crying and sobbing, and you can hear her all around. It's really big in Mexico, I believe. I think they have some forms of this urban legend in different countries, different South American countries, but it's more common in Mexico. But that's a big one. If you guys want to look more into it, you can find that on the internet and find the story. But she's a big one. Even I was watching a Halloween special where they were making a cake, and she was a character in the cake. So she's pretty big and a universal kind of urban legend that I've heard of. Have you heard any stories about her?
No, I haven't. I haven't done a lot of research on her.
Yeah. A lot of people in Mexico can hear her crying or screaming, which is really scary. But yeah, it's been going on. It's a legend that's been around for years. But the number one doll, of course, is Annabelle. She's
Ooh.
real. She has a movie out and everything like that. Of course, the movie is a little bit out there more than what the actual doll was, but Yes, Annabelle is real and she is a possessed doll. I guess you can say it's an urban legend because a lot of people don't believe that it's true. I believe it's currently in the Haunted Museum at Zach's or Ed and Lorraine Warren's museum, one of the two. I know he bought like a couple of things from their museum and put it in his. So I don't know if that's one of the dolls that he bought, but this particular doll is supposedly very haunted, and they have to lock it up in order to keep it from, I guess, possessing people and haunting people. So it's really cool and interesting. But again, there's a movie on it, and there's tons of research on it if you want to look more into that as well. Haunted dolls.
I don't know why, Mags, but the dolls, for some reason, they don't really frighten me. I think my biggest thing that frightens me is like ghost children. I have no idea why, but like I could deal with maybe if I see like a 16-foot ghost versus a little child. I have no idea why it spooks the crap out of me. But yeah, I mean, dolls, they seem a little creepy, but like if we ever go somewhere, Mags, and there's a little ghost spirit, I might run.
So another urban legend that I've heard about, Lise, is one in Alabama called the Dead Children's Playground. I know it's a little creepy, but this is a playground that they built inside of a cemetery. I know it's a little weird, but the reason that they built this playground was because in their mind they were thinking, oh, if the parents or the older individuals with the children are visiting their loved ones at the cemetery, these kids have somewhere to go and play. I guess it makes sense in theory. The kids can go play while they visit, but because of this playground being built, legend has it that the cemetery was built in, I believe, in 1822, and the playground was built in 1985. So ever since this playground has been built, there's been ghost children playing on this playground, getting use of it instead of these actual living kids. So it's really creepy to think about, like, these kids ever since I believe it was built in 1822. These kids that died now have somewhere to go and play. They hear voices. They see the swinging at night. So I mean, I guess it's a little bit sad to think about too, because this whole time these little kids are, I guess just wandering around. And now once that playground was built, now they're playing on it and having a good old time. But yeah, that's one of the urban legends in Alabama that I've heard of. And that's what you were just talking about, Lise. You were just talking about how creepy these little kid ghosts are. And
Yeah,
here we go.
I'm not going there.
Playground full of them.
I'm not going there. Yeah, I think people have heard children playing. They see swinging. They heard, I think, children calling out for their parents or parents calling out for the children. And I think it was in 2007. I might be right about. I'm not sure if I'm right about that, but in 2007 they wanted to take out the playground, and the residents weren't having it. They said, no, 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 you're not. So what they did was make it a little more appealing, because I think it looked a little more creepier. I think that's why they wanted to take it out. But yeah, they made it more appealing, and then there's still like sightings of the swings moving. They hear noises, paranormal activity. So yeah, maybe some of because it's so close to the cemetery, maybe these ghost children are coming by and playing out there, and I'm not going there. I'm not.
That's
No.
one place we will not go.
I mean, I don't know why they creep me out, but they do. The ghost kids do.
Yeah, I mean, I do think they're pretty creepy too. But In my case, though, a 16-foot ghost will creep me out just the same. All right, guys, that's what we have for our 3-part series, Urban Legends. We hope you liked it. Give us a like. Please subscribe to our channel. For our next podcast, we're going to have special guests coming in and talking about their own stories, their own experiences with the paranormal. So it's going to be a great show. Do not miss that.
It's going to be amazing just to hear from you guys. So don't miss it.
And as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.